it may be mathematics, it may be anything, economics. There should be inbuilt morality and inbuilt ethics. Otherwise, then we make a compartmentality, the values and the ethics, and then the rest is nothing to do with the values and ethics. If we do this in the education, then that division will come in our life as well. And if in our life the value does not become the entire basis of our living, then I don't think we can live with a human value or with an ethical life. So therefore, whatever, even you talk about secular things, secular subjects, of course you can differentiate anything which from conventional religion. It's debatable, but we can say a very pure secular subject we can taught. But that secular cannot be separate from value system. If you think the secularism is value-free, valueless, then I think the secularism have nothing to add to the human society, to the human life. And I think that is our way of looking at it. I don't know it is answer to your question, but we shall have to look into this way.
Hello, my name is Vivian. As an educator, what do you find are the biggest obstacles in bringing these kinds of teachings into education?
I have no answer.
No answer.
I have no answer, but we can try to find jointly. My mind is grounded or conditioned by Buddhist teaching, so I always look to the questions from that way. So you have to understand it, and you have to be patient and tolerant to that. Buddha have told to his disciples 3 responsibilities for an educator. Educator must do threefold duty to educate a student or disciple. And the first responsibility he talked about is to remove the fear from the mind of the learner. Without beginning the teaching or discussing the subject, the teacher must understand the strength and weakness of the student, and what are the weaknesses of the particular student. And he always talk about there is a hidden fear to almost every student. It may be not very obvious, you can recognize, but there's some fear to deal with the subject of learning. So thereby I can say the first obstacle is the fear or the indifferent attitude, not having intense interest in the learning of subject, or thinking that this is so difficult, I cannot study, I cannot learn, something like that. So this is, I think, a first obstacle in the process of education. So to remove that weakness, to remove the feeling of incompetency in the mind of the student, and feeling of the subject so difficult in the mind of a student. So we have to deal with the student at the psychological level, at the mindset level. Then the second responsibility is to impart the information. It may be a text, it may be a subject. So a teacher of mathematics, you have to give all the formulas and then learn together. So that is, everybody does, all educators, they think it is a part of their job. And the third, what Buddha said, is to be with the student until the student have the complete knowledge of the subject of learning. So to remove the difficulties after learning. After learning also, because the process of learning is endless. And in that process, an educator who comes to remove the first fear and to impart the information, then thereafter the educator did not look after the person who is to be educated, then again the education may not be complete. So therefore you have to be patient and be with that person in the process of his own digesting the education. So therefore I would say the first obstacle is, we call it fear, but it's not necessarily always a fear. Because unless you have a intense interest in the subject to learn, the learning process is always difficult. If you have intense interest in the subject, then you don't feel any tiredness. You can do work day and night, and you feel a lot of energy and you feel a lot of satisfaction. So to create that interest, that is the first first obstacle. Unless you have you are not able to create that interest of learning, then there is danger. Instead of educating, you are doing indoctrinating or brainwashing. So that need to be very carefully watched.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, my name is Daniel. Given the importance of preserving Tibetan culture, what part, if any, does globalization and technology play as a help or hindrance in the future of the Tibetan culture?
This is a very complex question, and this complexity in our actual monastic life also, lot of discussion is going on. Do every monk should have a mobile phone or laptop or iPad? And these are very handy and useful for information, getting information, and disseminating information, educating people, so on and so forth. And many people say, no, these are the very hindrance to the preservation of culture, the morality and the ethics. So I don't think there is any blanket answer. Modernity has give us tremendous good things. All the digital system, communication, information revolution, and we are able to go everywhere. And in the health, in the many other things. So we should not consider these are hindrance to the preservation of ancient culture or ancient value. This is my personal view. Many people may not agree to that, although I am not an advocate of the modernity. Now, having said all this, I will deal with this question in two different ways. 20 years back, when I was in Banaras, we used to discuss all these things. At that time, I think it's 30 years back, in the 1970s, the first generation of computers are coming, and the people say that these are not good for tradition learning or tradition culture. And I was the first person to introduce computer in Sarnath Institute. Even at that time, Banaras Hindu University did not have a computerization, and we started computerization. So at that time, we coined a kind of a slogan, selective acceptance for ultimate rejection. We have to accept selectively all the modern facilities, but ultimately we shall have to think not to become slave of this. The computer must be a facility to me. It should not become boss to me. A cell phone, it should be my facility, my aid, not my boss, not my entire controller. So that means I must maintain the mindset that I can live all without this. My life cannot be destroyed if you take away my laptop or take away my cell phone or take away my iPad. I should not become incapable of doing anything, handicapped. So if it is there, it's good. So that is all mindset. So when it goes to your mindset, then it will be hindrance. It doesn't catch to your mindset, it is a facility. It is an aid, good facility. So this is my viewpoint. And again, this question, the Tibetan culture should not preserve because of it is Tibetan culture. The Tibetan culture is relevant to the modern human society, then I think we need not worry about it. It will maintain. If it becomes irrelevant to the modern society, then we may make any effort, it will not survive. So the first way what I am trying to say is that any cultural, any tradition which can be preserved with a little bit of effort if it remains relevant to the human society. When it becomes irrelevant to the human society, then you cannot preserve it, whatever effort you may done. So in this background, if it is the Tibet culture remain relevant to the human society, then all the modernity cannot destroy it. We can use it comfortably. But again, here the caution is that these facilities should not be overpower to your mindset. And particularly, the modernity's most evil, the modern civilization's most evil thing is the habit input in the humanity for comparison and competition. And the comparison and competition is the cause of all modern evils. The competition destroys the cooperation, and competition destroys the ground of compassion and respect the other. So this mindset doesn't come to our mind if we manage the habit of comparison and competition. Then I think all modern facilities are good.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Hello, my name is Joseph, and in the philosophy of Tibetan Buddhism, there's the importance of letting go of attachment. And
Letting go of
attachment.
attachment, yes.
We were wondering, is it possible to practice this on something as vast as the loss of one's homeland? And are there some attachments that transcend this philosophy?
I don't think so. Attachment is a particular word which is referring to a particular emotion, and all your liking, all your dedication, all your what I should say, devotion or faith does not become attachment. Attachment is deals with ego, an object, an ego, and a relation. Then you are just attached to that. And as long as the attachment is there, you cannot remove your ego. Because attachment is a glue which just stuck down the ego with that object. So therefore, let go the attachment. Then your will, your aspiration, all this come without attachment, and that is the real thing. Okay, make sense? I don't know.
Thank you.
So I'm curious, from what you've heard from Samdhongrinpoche today, what struck you about what you've heard from him today?